Okay, guys, we are at episode 8 of Kiss Him Not Me. And overall, what I thought about this episode was that this was a redemption episode for one of our main characters, and that would be for Nanashima. Now, I do know, for the most part, prior to this episode, not a lot of people, including myself, like Nanashima, because the way he approached our main female character, Kai, after her whole transformation, you saw where he was a guy that didn't really pay much attention to her, made fun of her because of her size and her looks, and then when she slimmed down and became this pretty girl, that's when his whole perspective on her changed. And you were wondering, when is this guy ever going to change? When is he going to realize that looks aren't everything? And from there on, he had less fans, as well as Shinomiya. Now, we all know, you know and I know, that Mitsumi will forever be best boy. He is and continuously will be best boy until he gets an episode of himself and see in regards whether he likes the main character or not. But for the most part, we also see where like Igarashi got his redemption arc, where he finally realized he really liked Kai for who she was and not just because of what she was or how she looked like. And Nashina, we didn't have to worry about because she always liked Kai regardless of how she looked like. So she's like in the same boat as Mitsumi. For Mitsumi, for now, we don't know surely about his feelings. But anyway, in this week's episode, it was focusing on Nana, and like I said, it was a redemption arc, so it was going to see how could he redeem himself in the eyes of the viewers and possibly make himself, more appealing to Kai in hopes that he can be, one step closer to her realizing her feelings, if she has any, for him. Now, he feels like he's being left behind by everybody because remember, Kai liked him solely because he looked like her past favorite character, Shion, before she moved him to the Hall of Fame, and now her favorite character is Akame from that Kashi Rambu show that she's currently watching. So Nana feels like, he lost his only redeeming factor. One thing I have to say is that Nana is a wonderful big brother. This episode showed where he was going into a play starring as one of the main characters from his sister's favorite show, and Kai had needed a job because she wanted to go to so many anime related conventions and such, so she decided to take a part in that job as well. So you see where in this episode they're getting closer, especially on Nana's side, he's feeling he's getting closer to her. And then we get into this, there was a little drama that happened in this episode, and possibly that may have wavered people until the second half of the episode. Now, the drama that happened was Nana got sick. And, most of the times in these type of romance series, when a character does get sick, usually they are not too right in the head. They're in a daze and they don't know really what's going on. So he was in a daze, and the drama that ensued was that he forcibly kissed Kai, and she runs out and she's distancing herself from Nana because of the incident that happened. Now, she realizes that Nana was not all, right in the head. He wasn't sure of himself at that moment, but yet still she was scared of him because, he put himself onto her without her permission. You can't really blame him because he wasn't, he was not well aware of his surroundings, but at the same time you kind of feel for Kai in that moment. So it was him trying to fix that accident that had taken place. I kind of wish that as much effort as he was trying to fix the accident with him kissing her, forcibly kissing her, he would have tried to remember, okay, this is the same Kai that I made fun of in episode 1, and then she changed. I kind of wish he would have tried to remember back how he used to treat her, as well as, with this given situation that had happened. And he says, I kind of was a jerk to her, and at the same time, if I feel really bad about myself because of what I did to her, I should feel even worse how I used to treat her. Now, she does end up forgiving him. She does end up forgiving Nana for what he did. And one thing that was like pretty weird about this episode was like, Kai made a realization that fantasy is not the same as reality. Because she, when she was in the bedroom and that's when Nana decided to come and tell his apology outside of her house. And she was reading manga. She was reading BL manga. And we all know she's a BL fanatic. She's a BL otaku. And, they overexert a lot of romance themes in BL to the point of it's not realistic. And then she realizes that it's okay in manga. They overexert themselves in manga, but when it comes to real life, it just doesn't play out right. So is this a way for saying that Kai is starting to realize that these characters who are attracting themselves to her are the way they're doing it, even though she wants them to be together, is she starting to realize that that's not something that can actually happen in real life, that real life is nothing like the manga that she reads, like the fantasy world of manga or anime that she reads and watches. So I kind of hope they do go further into that come later episodes, where she realizes that not everything in real life is fantasy, and actually real life can pretty much suck. It can be a lot more scarier than reading two characters of a fictional world. So I even though it was crazy, I hope they do kind of embark on that in the last 4 episodes. If they can even touch upon that topic again, that would be pretty great. But nonetheless, in this episode, Nana, he did get his redeeming, he got his redemption. It gave him the character growth that he needed. I do like him a little bit more than I did the first episode, and I hope he continuously does grow for the last remaining episodes that is to show. But yeah, it was a pretty decent episode. It was a little bit better than last week's episode. I do have to say that. But I end up liking Nana a little bit more in this week's episode. So this gives chance for the other characters, like say Shinomiya, to get his redemption arc. And I don't know if that's going to be happening in next week's episode or not, but if it does, I cannot wait to see what they have in store for him. And with the possibility of Mitsumi, not really a redemption, but we get to finally see what his true feelings are, if they're still platonic or are they romantic. So if you guys saw this week's episode of Kiss Him Not Me, episode 8, do drop a comment down below on how you felt about this week's episode. What was your most favorite part of this week's episode? My most favorite part had to be when Nana was doing the dance with his little sister. I found that to be really cute. The links are in the description box as always. You guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!